Hello guys, welcome back. Today's we will going to be design ticket booking application. Okay, so now we're going to be design the system design of this ticket booking applications. So like only not designation part, we will going to be cover all of the things which interior asked interior wanted to be do. So let's get started before like I will introduce the steps we have to follow for the every system design interview. Like you don't have to directly jump into the designation part, you must have to go step by step. I will mention all of the steps in the process. You must, I will suggest, must have to go with that step. You any type of system design, it involve that step, it must be uh for that step. After you complete that step, will you can go deep down into the your systems. That's your interviewer's call. But if you follow these steps, you are I'm pretty much sure interviewer will happy with these steps. Okay, so I will write it down one by one. So first steps, let's see. We have the first steps, which includes the uh, requirement. Okay. Ask interviewer about the requirement, which requirement they have. Like, uh, we'll discuss. We'll see in the real time how we're going to be asked the requirement and all of these things. But this is the process you must have to follow. Then next, after requirement, then you have to design the entity slash core. This will be the something which you have to design. After that, you have to go and design one thing that called API. You have to uh, design the API. Once you have designed the API, you have to design the system or architecture basically. Okay, this will be the architecture. Okay, once you completed the architecture, you have to deep down the things, whichever things interior want, you can deep down that particular thing. Okay, so this is the common what we can say common approach to give the any type of interview, system design interview, whatever it is. It may be Uber development or Uber system design, like any of the system design interview. You have to follow this sequence. First ask the requirement, discuss on the requirement, then entity, core entity basically, and then build some top level APIs which sense for the which help you for the micro architecture or microservices. So API will help you out for that. Then just draw the architecture on you on this Excel draw only. Like you follow any board for the drawing and writing the things. You I will must say Excel draw is the best tool. I feel like I generally use that, so I'm just suggesting that. And then just go drill down your point. So how I will give the tips for the how you have to deep down the any things, like how you're going to be approach. You just don't go and drill down the things, whichever the interior want. Just we have to drill deep down that particular um, service only. Okay, so let's start from the requirement. Okay, so in requirement we have the two. Okay, so let's start with the requirement. In requirement, we have the two type of requirement. One is a functional requirement. Okay, so in functional requirement, generally, I will generally in functional requirement we are more uh, what we can say like in functional requirement I will talk to you ask them the about the functionality which you think in real life. Let's see in ticket booking system, if you go any of the application, there is a search bar, then there is a booking, then list of the tickets available. Once you click on that tickets, you will get a time slot of 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is. Then it means that you are requesting ticket for the done the payment and done the all process. Once it is done, it completed your ticket book. Okay, so these all functionally you have to write down, and then just not the write down. If you don't really familiar with the system or any system which you got the functionality, you got the questions, you have to ask them about the functionality. In our case, I will going to be write our functional requirement. One is a search ticket. Okay, so next will be the we search, we have one more functionality which called the request ticket. Request ticket, it means in this case we have to give the request ticket. Then third will be the where payments. Once the payments completed, we need the invoice or report. Okay. Once this, I think in ticket booking system, we only on this, we care about this part only. Other than that, we have the lot of things, but it cover in low level design. So I think high level design we only focus this part. And then we have the non-functional requirement in requirement, the non-functional requirement. Okay. So let's talk about the non-functional requirement. As you can see, based on these requirement, you have to discuss the non-functionality. In non-functionality, we talk about the like the what actually the system want, like how system should work fastly. Like let's see if we are building the search of the search the ticket, so it should be available more, not just user is searching and not getting the data. It user not user friendly. So we discuss on that all of the part in non-functional. And we also sometime we also discuss the like data consume data database and all data how much data we're going to store in the non-functional requirement. So we discuss all of these things. So in this case, we are not worried about too much worried about the data, how much data, because this is just a ticket booking system. Okay, so what I will do, I will talk about the availability, yeah, over the availability. We want availability in this search. Okay. Yeah, then once the availability happen in the search, after we need consistency or the consistency in booking booking. So basically we want consistency in data in the booking. It's mean that we have to block or something do the mechanism of the block book block seat for 5 minutes means one ticket can only one user can book. ऐसे नहीं हो जाए कि टू सिस्टम में ऐसे प्रॉब्लम आ जाए कि टू यूजर को एक टिकट अवेलेबल मतलब मिल जाए, तो इसीलिए ये कंसिस्टेंसी मैटर करती है यहाँ पे। सो वी विल गोइंग टू बी वी नीड द कंसिस्टेंसी हियर। सो overall we'll say the consistency C over the availability. B. Okay, so we want this. Based on this, we'll move ahead. I think this is ask at this moment, ask interviewer about all of these things. Ask them. I think this is. I think I'm thinking like this. What do you think about this? Will this sufficient, or we have to add some more functionality? Non, we have to care about the other thing as well. So interview will give you suggestion. In system design interviewer, nothing is wrong. Like no one can tell you ki this is wrong. Basically, you have to make the interviewer more vocabulary. You know, ask them like in system design, most of the people they really ask interviewer to tell me the what you want, like interviewer want. So based on that interviewer expectation, he work and he modify, he design the system like that. So you have to take care about that thing. Okay, so next, once we write the requirement, will be going to be write the entity and core. So basically, in entity, you have to design some basic what we can say tables. Like one is a event table, which have the event ID, then name, then name basically, then amount means fare, how much fare we have on that particular event, then status. Okay, so it b- active or booked base. Okay, so this is the event, then we'll have one more other table which will be locations, locations, then ID, then name. Okay, so that's is location because we wanted to find location, and then some based on the code, code basically. Okay, once we have the location, we also have the what I will write over here, history or report, payment history basically for the reporting. Okay, okay, so then ID, then event ID, then amount. Okay, that's it. So yeah, just this all of these things is enough for now. Once we need more thing, we'll discuss. Thing request payment. Okay, so this is enough for now. Let's start the designation of part of the API. You know, the API. We need some API. So whenever you are developing API, follow the proper standard designation of like version. If you want the survey, if you want to name the your XYZ, then XYZ, like means your domain name or whatever it is. Then version, we follow version. Then we follow the service name. Then based on the service, we follow the event. Okay, so based on this, and then we pass the code. Okay, blah blah blah. based on the we mostly follow pass the code on the parameters. Okay, so this is the one API. Next API we want for the request. Uh, Request the ticket booking for the some time of period, and then it search. This will be the change the service, so you have to add the service request the event. Okay, so request, then event, then based on that we pass the event ID. Okay, so whichever it is, we pass the event ID. Once the event done, we check the payment. So V1, then payment service, and based on that we pass the payment payment ID. Okay. In we pass the payment ID, basically some payment ID in the path parameters, and we get the status of that. Okay, so then we got the report V1, then report of event ID. E- Then slash, then question mark, then event ID is equals to. Okay, so these 4 5 APIs we must need, because this is important, for your any of the things. So this, I think these four you can design. You have to discuss only top level APIs. You don't have to like discuss the all of the API, like user profile and all of the. Definitely not, because we have the time constraint. So you must have to discuss only top level, which are you going to be. Why I wrote this top level and how I think like this. So I will going to explain in this design architecture part. So now we come in once we done this API design, we start the architecture of the system. Okay, so this is the important. So let me copy the functional requirement. Why I wanted to be copy, because based on this we will going to design the system as per request. Okay, and then later on we'll discuss the non-functional achievement. So we have to achieve all of the functional and non-functional requirement. Okay, so now you can see search the ticket. So now we have the as every system we have the same concept of the customers. We have the customers over here, a lot of customers over here. We have the one customer. Let me copy this. Okay, so customer one, customer two, and customer three. Okay, so these are the customers we have. Okay, so this is the client. Once the client send the request, we have the common architecture which called the, every time we have the API gateway for any architecture, it must have, because without API gateway, interview will feel like, oh shit, what is this? And this is the monolithic architecture. You can start with the monolithic, but but interviewer will definitely ask you to design the microservices. So it better to be start on the uh, m- on the microservice architecture. Okay, so now we have the um, client client calling the API gateway. Based on that, we have the rate limiter. We also have the um, router. Basically means it route proper microservices. Okay, so load balancer we have. Okay, and based on this we have the very first we have the search service. which will going to design over here. This is the search service. Okay, so once we search, we have to call the AP, call the database. We have the master DB over here. Okay, so master DB over here. I don't know database. I do not have the database. Okay, this will work. DB here. Okay, we are calling. So in this case, we like as you can see, the search and event code. Based on that, only we can search like this. So select star from table. We have event table. We have the locations occasion where code and this basically code is just like question marks, so whichever code we will going to pass. So this query scan entire database, means entire table. So it will going to be very slow. So but this will work for the small database, so it will going to be slow over a time, over a time. Like if the database is increasing, because it will definitely increase once the event is increased. So when scanning entire what we can say entire table is very difficult, so that we have to we will going to be lose some non-functional requirement. But as of now, this will work, this is fine. We'll discuss later on that. Okay, so next will be the our request service, as I discussed. So we'll book a request service which will wait for 5 minutes to complete the payment. And now this service will like service will update the status. Okay. Okay, so now we have the tables with the status, we have the event table. This one, let me copy this. Let me paste over here. Okay, so we have this table. So every time, once for 5 minutes, we have to update this as a book. Okay. I don't know why is this happening again. Sorry for that. Okay, so in this case, let's me say, we have to change the status is book, because we are searching a parallel on different service. So we have to change the status like this to this. Okay, so once we are checked, and then database update. So but this is a heavy thing, because once you book, we have to check this. So what we're going to be do once, let me think. So we will create one more table which is called the event requested. Okay, request, then event ID will be there, ID, and then whatever, yeah, season ID or whatever, or any other information. Okay, so in this event ID, whenever the request is coming, so we'll going update this particular status. Okay, with different database. Now let's see. User have just open the payment page and request page, and will they he didn't have he haven't completed the payment. So that case, we have to like tell explicitly tell this is season is not available for the like not available, or this is invalid. So in this case, we have to run a con job, like for every 10 every every 10 minute or what 5 minutes we have to explicitly tell them this is invalid, and we have to update that uh, status in our main database based on this con job. Okay, are you getting my point? This is the con job. Let me. Okay. Okay, so we'll pick up this information from the database. We run the count job, and based on that, we change the status like book to to ac- available. Okay, so this is how we can achieve. But in the scenario, let's see, my ticket booking is booking is done after my con job run, and after within a 1 minute I booked the ticket. It means that he must have to wait for the next how much minute? 9 minutes to update the database. Means we are waiting for the 10 minutes in the database. So this is not the data consistency. Like we are logging we are lagging over here. You can see. We want the consistency for the 5 minutes. So if this is the not the better this will work, definitely work for the small application. This is fine. Like um, um, uh, like availability and lot of things, you can say it might like it will work, but this is not efficient way to do this. So how we going to be do? So let's start with the thing. So let's see before this is the let me disconnect this, copy this part, because this is not the approach we're going to be use. This we may need. Okay, let's delete this. Okay, now we have what we're going to be do here. We don't need to be run the con job and everything. What we're going to be add? We're just going to add the redis. Do you know redis? What does it the redis does? So redis is the caching mechanism. It's cache the data. Okay, so we'll cache the event ID, and then season ID, whatever we wanted to be stored. So, and we will going to be add over here, which is called the invalidate time. So this is the one. This is the. I think we have the one key where we're going to by pass like 5 minutes. Of if we pass the minutes or there's this event, this like key ampere will going to be invalid automatically. We don't have to do anything at all. So once this is valid invalidated, so we're going to be check this, and will what will when we are querying the search, every time we're going to check the event id over here. If the event id is present here, we're going to not show that event over here. Means basically tickets over here. So this is under process, so you don't have to show that event. Once this is invalidate, it will going to be removed, so we don't have to update database every time. When we are going to be update this database, once we are completed, what I am saying, once we are completed the entire booking system for the next service, then we're going to be update the database. How we're going to be update? Let's see. Uh, co- let me do some. Okay, so for the next service we are going to go. Okay, now the request, then booking, this booking system. Okay, booking will check with the payment service. We have the payment service. Okay, so we have the payment service over here. Let's see payment, which will be the basically whatever and service. So This request also send the payment service and read out the proper place, and this booking service will check the payment status externally so that he will get to know whether this ticket is booked or not. Once it is booked, we're going to be update this DP, and status will be the booked. So we don't need to do anything because we don't care about this Redis caching. We can remove event, that particular event, but not really needed here, because once you change the active to book status, you are not going to be select in this case. Okay, so now this is this is the system. Then like you look all of the things we have covered, like, and one more thing, we need the invoice or report, so you can just add service here, over here, report, and based on the request will going to be checked database. Okay, this is not the like too much heavy for the reports. We are okay with that. Now come into the non-functional requirement. We are done with the functional requirement. Let me copy the non-functional requirement. Okay, so I am copying the non-functional requirement. Let's see the non-functional requirement. We are now consistency in the booking seat. Okay, now you can see we are good enough. We have the consistency ready and all of these things. Okay, not issue with that. Then availability or a period, it's sorry, consistency over the availability. We have the consistency over here. Okay, now search availability in search. As you can see, the over time it will going to be slow. I wrote over here, so we are not going to be fulfill these requirements. So we have to, and we must to be fulfill these requirements. So how we going to be do? So in this case, we have one mechanism in one service which is called the elastic search database. Search. Okay, so elastic search we can search it from directly there. That's why we are from the elastic search. So elastic search work on the hash code. It very fast. So it basically used for the searching mechanism only. So yeah, we'll going to be use that. So but now we have to update event over here. So how we're going to be update that event? It's important. No. So we can directly do based on the event. Once the some event event happen, we're going to be update the elastic as well, elastic database as well. But now here we will going to be use the Kafka for the these changes and load the changes, and then we'll get the updated changes from the real database. Okay, this will solve our problem. Okay, so this is the architecture we done. Now, now we'll talk about the. This is too much for as of now. Now we're going to be deep down. This is important part, you guys. How you which thing you have to deep down. I don't think over here we can deep down, but you have to ask for the interviewer how you will going to, if you are thinking, yeah, this is enough and we cannot go beyond that, but no, at all. Interviewer will give the hint, or interview will give the chance to look into this. Ask interviewer, what do you think? I have completed the functional and non-functional requirement in the architecture as well. What do you think fail we can fail any case? So they will may tell you. In this case, you can say this booking to db, this booking to db, this is the API we are updating, like booking the thing. Okay, so in this case we may feel that something like lot of people are booking the thing at a time. Okay, so we have the request time and all of this thing. We check the mechanism over here, not matter. But after booking, we successfully check the payment and we done the payment. After that, we aren't able to, how do we can say, we don't able to update properly on the database. So what will happen? It will fail the some APIs. So that case we have to add something. So this is the deep down thing. So we have to go deep down. So how we're going to be deep down? We will going to be add one more service over here. How? Let me tell you guys. Let me clear this status. Every time we're going to be update for the every time we're going to add the queue over here for each request. Everything will go from the queue. The booking request after successful of the payments, booking in the queue, and queue will update properly one by one, one by one, one by one. Now this will, okay, this will be the helpful for us to updating the data and keeping the everything at a place. This is how we can drill down the things and deep down the things, and this is the roadmap you have to follow for any system design interview question. You have to cover all of these things on all of the requirement as per 5 points. One, requirement, entity, API, architecture, and deep down. I will suggest for the every interview you must have to vocable with the interview. Ask interviewer, what do you think? I forget one thing, most important thing, uh, about the database. Like if you are new into the system design, you will go definitely talk about the I will going to use the MySQL database, relational database, or NoSQL database. That case, interviewer may ask you why the relational database, why not the NoSQL database? As you are if you are fresher, if you don't know in this case, so you will going to be like debate over there. This is this and this blah blah blah. So but as an expert you have to tell them, just tell them, "Okay, I'm very familiar with the relational database. I usually use that. I used to that, so that I will going to be use the MySQL database." This is the best answer at all, because everything happen with the no relational database nowadays, that happen in NoSQL database as well nowadays. So it's not matter at all ki which database you are going to be used. So yeah, this was the important thing I forget to tell you. And you have to follow this 5 concept every time for every system design interview. If you follow these 4 concept or 4 things in a proper way, I'm sure you will going to be you will going to be cover all of the point whichever interviewer went, and you will going to crack the interview. Okay, thank you so much.